Welcome back to ALPB Roundup. I'm Ryan here with your Daily Roundup, and it's a double Daily Roundup. I always want to say daily double. It's a double because I didn't get a video out today recapping Friday, so now you're getting both in one shot, and it's a much longer video than I thought, so buckle up because there's no editing in this thing. There's going to be no extra graphics. Not doing that today. Mid-cocktail because it's 3:45, and I'm not going to sit here without a cocktail when I had to just switch up what I was doing from breaking down baseball to breaking down a fight, because they be brawling in High Point tonight, y'all. If you are here for that, you're going to have to sit and wait because we're talking about that one last. Or you could use the link in the description to like the time stamp for that. But then do your boy a favor, right? Come on back and watch the rest because like I scratch your back by putting it there. You scratch mine by coming back and watching the whole video. You know, you do you. Who am I to tell you how to do things? Don't want to get fought on a baseball field. Anyway, we're going to start in Lexington and we'll work our way up to this High Point debacle. So Lexington traveled to York hoping to continue their 5-game win streak fresh off a sweep of that High Point ball club. Gave the ball to Kevin McGowan. York would hand it over to Austin nicely. Both have looked strong lately. Tillman Pugh put the Legends on the board on Friday night in the second, singling to bring in Darian Sanford. Roberto Baldequin, he led off the top of the fourth with a single, moving to second on a pass ball, and then Sam Claycamp brought him in with an RBI single. Chris Fornacki drew a walk. Tillman Pugh then would light it up with a 3-run home run. And just like that, it was 5-0 in the fourth, and Lexington was off and running. Back-to-back home runs from Carlos Castro and Wellington Dotel in the bottom of the fourth would be all the Revs offense for the night. McGowan looked great. The Legends' pen looked great. Brandon Phillips even knocked in a couple in the sixth, so an all-around great effort. Before a 6-run eighth inning, by the way, just put a bow on this thing. I'm not even going to dig into that inning. It was already pretty much out of reach by then, but 6 runs in the eighth from Lexington. Poured it on. Jordan Pachenko hit his first home run of the season during that. Legends end up winning this thing 14-2 in a 19-hit effort. Kevin McGowan, he gets the win. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned. All those both those 2 earned runs within 4 pitches of each other. Those back-to-back home runs. So other than that, you look terrific all night. 2 walks, 7 Ks. He's now 4-0 with a 3.43 ERA. I think that's the most wins in the league. I haven't got a chance to double check that. Austin Nicely has a rough day and gets the loss. 5 innings, 5 runs, 4 of those were earned, 10 hits, a walk, and 3 Ks. He falls to 1-2 with his ERA up to 5.82. They need a little more out of him than that. Courtney Hawkins stays hot, 3 for 5 with a double. Jordan Pachenko, he gets the ALPB roundup game ball for that. 4 for 6 with a home run and 4 RBI. Tillman Pugh, another good day batting ninth. Just brutal, man. There's no gaps in his line. He's at a 958 OPS out of the 9-hole. Lexington is ruthless right now. No easy at-bats if you're facing them. For York, Carlos Castro, he went 2 for 3 with a home run. He's batting .418 with a 1.188 OPS. It might have been 14 or 418 on base percentage. I don't know. We're not editing this, so now we're here. But 63 plate appearances at that point after Friday night with a 1.188 OPS is ridiculous from Carlos Castro. Tyler Hill doubles twice in a much-needed hot game for him. Dotel also stayed hot for York. York falls to 8-11 with this Friday night game, and they are dealing with Melky Mesa being now injured and the signing of Nelly Rodriguez this week. So they needed something good to happen, and they got it tonight. They get the pick-me-up they wanted with a walk-off win. Lexington went to Dustin Beggs, who pitched great. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, no walks, 5 Ks. But it would not be enough as York held the Legends to just 1 hit in 10 innings. A single off the bat of Cole Sturgeon. That was all the hits that would come through. Tillman Pugh eventually would score in the 3rd inning on a wild pitch. That hit was in the 3rd inning too, so they went 4th through 10th, no hits. But it was all just Austin Steinfort tonight. 8 innings of 1 hit ball, 1 earned run, 6 walks, 5 Ks. He gets the game ball. Second of the season for him. In the bottom of the 10th with the score 1-1, Jan Sanchez delivered the walk-off single for York. The Revs are now 9-11, 2 games behind Long Island in the North. The Legends dropped their 6-game win streak, but remain 4 games up in the South Division over High Point. Lancaster takes the trip up to Long Island for the weekend. Winner of this series is going to grab first place in the North. I know it's early, but it's never too early to start tracking. For Game 1, Long Island went to Joe Iorio on the mound. Lancaster gave the ball to Andrew Coutura. Kelly Dugan homered for Lancaster to take a 2-0 lead in the second, and Caleb Gindel would also go deep in the 5th to make it a 3-run lead. Long Island got one back in the bottom half of the 5th, and the Ducks would go in to tie it in the 6th. Ray Fuentes and Sal Giardina team up with RBI singles to right. Really felt like the Ducks started touching up Couture right as he approached about the 100 pitch limit or 100 pitches area. He looked good all night, but they started getting to him and chased him pretty quickly after that point. Something to keep in mind moving forward, whether you're watching or whether you're just really invested in his life and his career, whatever. Long Island leapfrogged into the lead in the 7th on a Johnny Turbo solo homer. Johnny Turbo getting it done. However, Lancaster's Ladarius Clark would clear the loaded bases in the 8th with a pinch hit double, taking a 6-4 lead for the Barnstormers. Barnstormers hang on to win this one 6-5. Andrew Coutura goes 5 2/3, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 5 Ks in a no decision. Joe Iorio also takes a no decision, 7 hits, 3 earned, 7 hits, 7 innings, 3 earned, 7 hits, 1 walk, 2 Ks for him. Gabriel Moria ends up getting the win for Lancaster. Hunter Cervenka in his first outing for the Ducks after being sent over from the Power, he takes the loss. Scott Schumann gets his 5th save. Looked great again. Through 10 innings pitched this season, no runs allowed, 3 hits, 18 Ks. Whew. Game ball goes to Ladarius Clark for coming through in the clutch. Pinch hit double, giving Lancaster the lead and the win. Ladarius Clark doing Ladarius Clark stuff. Whew. In Game 2, Long Island handed the ball to a new signee and familiar face, Darren Downs. Basically, he did Darren Downs stuff, but only for 3 innings. So, I don't know. I've been tracking Darren Downs. I know he hasn't pitched professionally since 2019, so I'm guessing he's not totally stretched out, so he'd only go 3 innings. We'll talk a little more on that. Yoel Espinal got the start for the Barnstormers. This game would only go 7 innings. Not sure how we arrived at that point. I know there was rain beforehand. I'm guessing there was an agreed upon thing to end this thing early. I don't know what the deal was there, but everyone seemed fine with 7 innings, so okay, I'm going to let it go. Lancaster, they opened the scoring in the 2nd with the old 1st and 3rd steal of 2nd to create some chaos. That's right. Got 1st and 3rd, send a guy to 2nd, see what happens. They threw 2 outs, took the gamble they were going to get him, did not. Run scores at the plate, love it, high school days. The Ducks, though, got those right back in the bottom half on a pass ball that scored, or got that run, sorry. 1 run. They got back 1 run. We're doing it live, no editing. The Ducks got that run right back in the bottom half on a pass ball that scored Ryan Jackson, and then a productive ground out off the bat of Jesse Berardi would take the lead. Ryan Jackson crossed the plate again in the 5th off a Sal Giardina single to make it a 3-1 game. Sal Giardina's mustache has been getting some solid social media time lately, though. It's terrific. That'd be all the scoring on the night, as Michael Tonkin would close out 4 scoreless innings from Ducks relievers to nab his 3rd save. Downs, I mentioned, only went 3 innings in this one. He only threw 47 pitches, though, so I assume, it's not like he was overworked. I'm just thinking maybe he's easing back into things. He allowed 1 earned run on 2 hits, struck out 4, looked very good. As I said, first professional showing since 2019. Yoel Espinal took the loss, falling to 1-2. He didn't pitch badly, though. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 7 walks, 1 K. The walks are really the concern there. And not a lot of offense, not a lot of standout pitching. Downs look good, but for 3 innings. So let's give Ryan Jackson the game ball. That's his 3rd of the season. 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored. That'll work, keeping that OPS well over 900, having himself a year. The Ducks are back to being a game up over Lancaster in the loss column, so they're a half game up in the standings. They are 11-9. 1 game to go. That will determine who leaves this weekend in first in the North Division. All right, Gastonia and West Virginia got into a wild one in Charleston. The Power gave the start to new signing Clinton Halone, who's a story we're not even going to get into tonight because it doesn't need to be watered down because there's a lot going on tonight. He looked good in 5 2/3 innings, though, in the Frontier League already, so Power liked what they saw, rolled the dice. Alexis Candelario, he'd be on the bump for Gastonia. West Virginia scored 2 runs in each of the first 3 innings, including a Ruby Silva 2-run homer in the first. He was only 2nd batter of the game and got it done. Welcome to the party there. Gastonia cut the lead in half, though, with a 3-run 4th and then tied it with a 3-run 6th. A Teodoro Martinez RBI in the 7th brought home Alberto Callaspo and put the Power back in front 7-6. But the Honey Hunters kept after it. Gene Maki would end up blowing the save in the 9th, allowing a 3-run home run off of the bat of Mike Pappy. That's his 5th homer of the season. Honey Hunters would then hold on despite a 9th inning solo shot from Edwin Espinal, who's been hot since joining the Power. Gastonia wins at 9-8. Candelario goes 5 innings for Gastonia, 6 earned, 8 hits, 3 walks, 2 Ks. Not great. ERA hanging out over 7.5. Bobby Scott would go on to get the win in that one for them. Halone, he'd go 4 innings, allowing 3 earned, 5 hits, and 1 walk with 4 strikeouts. Looking promising. Good start, good story there. We'll, again, follow up on that later. He looked very promising for West Virginia. Looking at guys who were just assigned Show Me Series status. So in our series roundup, talking about guys who they got to show us something. They're slumping right now. Show us something in the series. Josh Saleh gets off at 2 for 2 with a walk in his 3 plate appearances. Seems like he's out of his funk. That's what we do here. trying to get it rolling. Edwin Espinal, he went 2 for 5 with that go-ahead home run. He earns the game ball. He's looked great since joining up in West Virginia, by the way. It took a little while to get everything straightened out so he could join the team, but he's looked very, very good, Edwin Espinal has, since joining up with West Virginia. The battle continued Saturday in another pitcher's duel on Saturday. There was 4 games. I don't think anyone scored more than 4 runs. All 4 losing teams had 1 run. So think about that for Saturday's action. Offense coming back to normal here. Eric Sekula, he got the start for the Power, taking on A.J. Merkel for Gastonia. I'm humble enough, by the way, to admit that I thought A.J. Merkel was going to be a garbage fire on the mound. I've said it out loud. It was in a video. That's on me. But he has made me eat that projection thus far. He would leave tonight with a 3.72 ERA. The peripherals don't look great, but he continued to deliver tonight, so big ups to him. Teodoro Martinez, he doubled home Edwin Espinal to put West Virginia up 1-0 in the second. Reimer Liriano followed that up in the third with a double of his own to score Jimmy Paredes and make it a 2-run game. Gastonia, though, would get 1 back in the 5th, but it just would not be enough as the power bullpen really shut down Gastonia, going 6 2/3, allowing 0 earned runs. They had to do all that work, that 6 1/3 inning of work tonight, because Eric Sekula got ejected in the 3rd for a hit by pitch that was deemed intentional. So it started off after an odd situation involving a disagreement when Mike Pappy walked on 4 pitches in the 1st. All 4 pitches were outside the zone, for the record. I checked that. Tempers definitely seemed up after that, and then Pappy got hit square in the back on the 2nd pitch of this at-bat, which ejecting Eric seems harsh to me, but I wasn't there. I didn't hear the back and forth that was going on at any level there, so I'm not going to pass judgment on it, but it was a wild situation because no one knew what was going on there. That's going to get overshadowed by what we're about to talk about, but pocket that info. We'll see what comes of it. He did go 2 2/3 of an inning, allowed no runs on 1 hit. He did walk 3. Merkel went 5 1/3, scoring 2 earned. Another good outing from him. Only allowing 2 earned runs, as I said, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. Had to wear the loss, unfortunately, in this outing, which was, as I say, pretty good for him, but it's a good start to the year for A.J. Merkel. On a slow offensive night, I'm comfortable giving the game ball to Edwin Chiarte. If he delivered 3 innings of unexpected relief out of the pen after that ejection, allowed no earned runs, 1 hit, walked 2, and struck out 2. ERA is now down below 2 early on in the campaign. West Virginia and Gastonia have flipped back and forth at the bottom of the South Division standings the past couple nights, with Gastonia currently behind at the bottom. They're behind by, I think, 1 game in the loss column. They're 8-11, so a half game back. Finally, in High Point, let's get to it, and we'll wrap this thing up. Southern Maryland takes on the Rockers. Rockers, they needed a win after getting swept by Lexington. Looked to Bryce Hensley to stop the skid. Southern Maryland, they're coming off a sweep of Gastonia, and they're riding high. They give the ball to Brandon Barker in Friday night's action. Jared Mitchell, he homered in the 2nd to put High Point up 1-0. Southern Maryland fought back in the 4th, taking a 3-1 lead. However, Jared Mitchell would homer again, and a Logan Moore solo home run would then tie the game back up at 3 after 4 innings. So we're 3-3 after 4. Rockers would score 1 in the 5th and tack on 2 more in the 7th to grab a 3-run lead going into the 8th. High Point answers with a High Point would answer a Zach Collier home run in the top of the 8th for the Blue Crabs, with an RBI double from Stephen Cardulo in the bottom half of the inning to hold serve, so 7-4 going to the 9th. However, this once red-hot Rockers bullpen just melted down, and this is not the first time in the past few days this has happened. Included in a 6-run 9th inning. They completely blow this opportunity to save this game and give up the lead badly. 3-run David Harris home run kind of highlighted this thing. Zach Collier also had an RBI double for insurance, made it a 10-7 lead for Southern Maryland. Brian Clark would wear all that damage, 6 earned in 1/3 of an inning. The Blue Crabs sent 9 men to the plate in the 9th inning, scored those 6 runs on 7 hits, and those 7 hits, by the way, were all consecutive with the exception of 1 sac fly in the middle, and even that thing scored a run. Matt Latos gets a 1-2-3 save with 2 Ks. He's sealing 10-7 Blue Crabs win. He's got a .882 whip. Just disrespectful behavior from Matt Latos. Bryce Hensley looked pretty good in this one for the Rockers. 6 1/3, 3 earned, 6 hits, 4 walks, 2 Ks. He gets no decision, but he'll be opening up for Jake Owen, I think, on Tuesday night. So good for that guy. Brandon Barker goes 4 1/3. He allows 4 earned, 5 hits, 4 walks, and struck out 4. For Southern Maryland, Michael Baca stays hot, going 3 for 3 against his former team. Zach Collier goes 3 for 4 with a homer. David Harris earns the game ball for his 3-run home run to give the lead and the win to Southern Maryland. Now let's talk about this. High Point would bounce back and end the 5-game losing streak and a winning streak for both teams here by getting a win on Saturday tonight, as the case may be. Sent Cooper Casad to the bump to battle Southern Maryland's Austin Glorious. Michael Russell opened the game with a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first for High Point, coming out of the gate strong. However, David Harris would pick up where he left off Friday night, homering to tie this one up. Southern Maryland's bats went quiet from there, and High Point would pull ahead with 2 runs in the 6th before sealing this with a James McGowan RBI triple late. Rockers would win 4-1. Austin Glorious gets the no decision despite a great effort for the Blue Crabs, going 5 innings, allowed 1 earned, 5 hits, 3 walks, and struck out 6. Cooper Casad notches his first Atlantic League win. Congrats to him. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned, 4 hits, 4 Ks, and no walks. Earns himself the ALPB Roundup game ball. Well deserved. Now let's talk about where things got weird tonight. Let me try. I took notes on this. I'm trying to recap as quick as possible and as accurately as possible, but boy, is it difficult. So, okay, now we're ready. Southern Maryland. Grafer Aregua, he retires Edwin Arroyo to end the 7th. Nothing seems weird as ground out. So then he begins walking toward the High Point dugout yelling at someone. Now, it appeared to be Logan Moore. Logan Moore started this play on third, crossed home, running it out before the third out was recorded. But, didn't count, but now he's over by his dugout, the Rockers' dugout. And so he's just doing his thing. So you couldn't see on the footage what Logan Moore was up to, but Aregua seemed mad about something. Blue Crabs fielders quickly hustled toward the Rockers' dugout and yelled, and they seemed to be really aggressively backing up Grafer. So I don't know what Grafer saw, but something must have gone down because multiple players looked agitated by what was going on. And I'm sorry I don't have better info than that, but I'm just limited to the camera angles I could see, and I saw every bit of them. Benches cleared with some pushing and shoving at that point. Quickly, that was separated and settled, and things seemed to be calming. Rockers pitching coach Frank Viola was sort of adamantly arguing, but also seemed to be calming things. So I think he's just a very intense guy, and that can kind of happen. Like, is he arguing or is he helping? Probably helping. He's an adult in the room, and he would not end up ejected from this incident. All of a sudden, though, things erupt again with manager Jamie Keefe somewhere in the middle of it. Don't think he was saying anything off, because, again, he didn't get ejected either, but he was in the middle of it. And next thing you know, serious, legitimate punches were getting thrown at this point, right in front of the mound. Nefi Agondo, he had to be dragged all the way over to first base by his teammates. Matt Latos straight up picked up and carried Zach Collier away. Now, Collier gets sort of put back in the dugout, and then next thing we know, when the camera flows back to him, he's back out of the dugout by a couple steps with a bat in his hand. That, I don't see any way that doesn't end in a 10 to 15 game suspension. It has to be a massive suspension. If that is what it looks like, and there's no sort of plausible deniability, which I don't know how much plausible deniability there can be. You entered the dugout without a bat during a fight. You then left the dugout with a bat. Fight's still going on. I don't know how he's going to try to work his way out of that. I don't know what the league stance on that kind of thing would be. I gotta imagine it's not good. So keep an eye for that going on. Serious punches getting thrown. Caught people on the ground. People getting pulled away, carried away. CJ Farias, he appeared to have been banged up in the melee too. He was seen holding his hand. Don't know if it was serious or not, but it was enough to get mentioned by the broadcast, and I noticed it on the field. But wait, once things seemed to have settled down, everyone's separated, and we're kind of taking stock. Then all of a sudden there might be a bullpen fight. Okay, no bullpen fight, but Matt Latos was there, so tensions were high. Because if you know much about Matt Latos and his indie ball career, Matt Latos was involved in a good one back in the day. If you look it up on YouTube, you're up on Mike Ashmore's YouTube channel, which you know is legit in the indie ball circle. So false alarm in the outfield, but there was plenty still to clean up. So we end up with Jared Mitchell ejected, Michael Russell ejected, David Harris ejected. Seems like McAdams might have been ejected too. This took forever. These ejections played out over the course of maybe 10. It felt like 15. Maybe it's an exaggeration, but I would say 10 minutes. It took these things. Separate everything, went to commercial, came back, still figuring out minutes. And this took so long that a new fight would break out. So it took forever. This was a total mess, and I don't want to come down on the umpires. I think it's a hard job. It's them managing 50 players and coaches trying to get something separated. But at a certain point, you just need the action to begin to de-escalate a situation. Make it very clear that if anything else happens, people are getting tossed right away, and suspensions will likely be handed out because of what's already been warned about. And then you just have to let them play baseball and let the replay figure out who's getting suspensions and as a roll. But they were tracking everybody who did everything, and all of a sudden now we're sitting there, people are yapping back and forth, and it becomes a thing again. I don't know how many people ended up getting suspended. It was ejected. It was super unclear. At one point, there was 9 people total hanging around from the Blue Crabs total. I'm sure it wasn't that many people ejected, 16, 15 people ejected, but it was very unclear what went down. Michael Russell eventually tried to get Daryl Thompson to leave the dugout and fight him. Frank Viola had to cross all the way to hold Daryl back at that point. Daryl at this point had been just cleaning things up and being a dad. And also Matt Latos. Let's not overlook the fact that Matt Latos was breaking this up, which is character development that we love. It feels like the end of a book. And then he broke up the fight instead of being in it. And that's how we knew he grew. It was wild. It was a wild scene. And at this point, as I said, I feel like the umps were to blame for dragging this out. I'm not sure what was said to begin. It was interesting how heated things got quickly. And usually, I always point to the fight that went down in Pittsburgh with the guy whose name I'm not going to remember because it's 4 a.m, but who fought the whole team. And it was he was the one. He heard the chirping and he decided he was going to brawl, and he was the one who was heated about it. Everyone else just came to his defense. This one was multiple players on the Rockers were ready, or on the Blue Crabs were ready to throw hands over this. So something went down, and I think we're going to maybe learn some details. We'll see, but very interesting scenario. When things finally got cleared up, Preston Gainey would make his way into the game in the 9th and get the save, scoreless. Obviously, he's Preston Gainey. He doesn't give up runs. But looking forward to some chippy games tomorrow, man. Only 8 teams in this league. Division opponents are going to play 24 to 25 times. Southern Maryland and High Point are going to play another 10 times. It's going to get messy, friends. We're going to be here for the whole ride. Hopefully we did a good job recapping. It's a little difficult. 8 games to recap, and I didn't expect to also have to recap a fight night, but here we are. We'll probably have updates on suspensions. Sunday games. So Sunday games, I will not have a daily roundup up Sunday. You can expect a Monday afternoon / Monday evening series roundup recapping the weekend series and previewing the week series. And I'll likely have some suspension news for you. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's going to be some suspension news tomorrow. So we'll talk through all of that and we'll keep up. But thanks for bearing with me. I hope no editing wasn't too painful here. I hope you keep track of the scores and whatnot without any graphics. But I believe in you. And maybe I'll be a good boy and I'll throw a little thumbnail on this thing for YouTube and make it a presentable video. Until the series roundup, I'm Ryan from AOP Roundup. Enjoy your Sunday. Hope it's violence-free baseball, and if there is violence, I hope it's super entertaining. Is that dark? Is that weird? No, it's 4 a.m. and I'm drinking a cocktail and doing a YouTube video about independent baseball, so it's probably fine.